Newly confirmed Attorney General Todd Blanche is refusing to put up a wall between the Justice Department and the executive branch. On NBC's Meet the Press Sunday, Blanche, who previously served as one of the president's personal lawyers, would not commit to acting independently from Trump.
No, I'm not going to pledge that. And no attorney general should ever pledge that. The president, I mean, if I were to pledge I will be independent of the White House, what that means is that if President Trump says, I want the Department of Justice to go after every violent criminal in this country, which is what he has said, what you're saying to me is I should say, no, sir, not going to do it.
Blanche also said he would take President Trump's view into account when considering whether to move forward with prosecutions. Since Trump returned to office, the DOJ has indicted or investigated several of the president's Democratic foes and some of his former allies. CBS News legal contributor Jessica Levinson is here to break it down. And Jessica, Todd Blanche knows that that is not the question that was asked. That he sort of was able to say, no, he's telling me to prosecute all of the most dangerous criminals. But we know what was actually meant with that question. So help us understand the history of the independence between these two, between the DOJ and the White House, because right now the president's photo is draped over the building's exterior.
Right now, there's not the same separation that we used to have. And thank you for being the one to say he was answering a different question. Now, in terms of what we've seen historically, we've seen based on norms, not based on constitutional requirements, that there has been separation between the Department of Justice and the chief executive. But that's limited. We know that the Department of Justice falls under the executive branch. We know that the president appoints the attorney general. We know that when it comes to the Department of Justice, the Supreme Court has recently said that all of its functions, like investigating and deciding who to prosecute, do fall under the executive branch. So the idea that there has been independence, and we could talk about why that's important, really has been based on norms, not based, again, on constitutional requirements. Now, why does this fall within the executive branch at all? Because a part of the Constitution says that the president takes care to make sure that laws are faithfully executed. Lindsay, as you know, that's both a grant and a limitation. It grants the executive branch, and in this case, the Department of Justice, an agency under the executive branch, the power to take care to faithfully execute the laws. But it's also a limit. You have to faithfully execute existing laws. You can't make up crimes, and you can't make up violations of existing crimes. And so that's the basic framework we have. Obviously, again, we see a lot less separation than we used to.
You set us up. So why has it been the norm?
So it's been the norm for a couple of reasons. The main one, I think, being that when it comes to the Department of Justice, we want to make sure that they are guided by the principle of equal justice under the law. We want to make sure that they are guided by the principle of you investigate and prosecute people based on the facts and the law, not based on whether they are friends with the president or an enemy of the president. It's all about public support and credibility of that department.
Jessica Levinson, thank you.